Oh, pardon me. I was just striving for greatness. I feel like I'm ready to cross that finish line of excellent work in this grade. Cheesy? Perhaps. But y'all, what we're going to be looking at today is that advanced skill of embedding evidence that we've practiced so much, especially right before we went on break. And so I know I already have a good idea in my head of how to take my transition outline and turn it into my draft. So we're simply going to be zooming in on how I can do that next piece. You'll notice thesis here, thesis here. Eventually, I'm going to take it and flush out a full intro paragraph, but that's going to be after I get my draft. Okay, topic sentence here. I take it straight over here. So now I'm ready to go ahead and I have my first piece of evidence. Chinese scientists rapidly identified the virus and sequenced its DNA. In order to do this, I went to my old favorite sheet. It was yellow in the classroom and it's changing up to new times now. And so I have my topic sentence, check. My next step is to embed evidence. And so I'm going to go ahead and look at, those classics bring me back. I decided for a classic because but so. A person says, right, describes evidence, so what? And so that's what I'm going to start with. My person in this case is Christoph, the author. He's writing. And so now I can jump in and see what he writes, making sure that it makes sense within the context. Christoph writes, Chinese scientists rapidly identified the virus and sequenced its DNA. Yep, that as it stands is just fine. It makes sense. Sometimes I might need to add a word so it flows right. So Christoph writes, Chinese scientists rapidly identified the virus and sequenced its DNA. So I know this was important because that allowed people to quickly, or they wanted people to quickly have the information they needed to stay safe with the coronavirus. So let me write that. So they wanted to spread information about the disease and prevention to the general public to protect them. So now I'm ready for my next step to analyze this. And so in order to do that, again, I come back here. I see where I'm at on my transition or on my checklist. I've embedded my evidence. So now let me analyze it. I could focus on the word choice. I could think about a craft move, or I can really jump into the complex idea. So that's the one I decided to do. So I'm going to come in here and use that sentence frame. In other words, had the scientists, the doctors and scientists been allowed to proceed or allowed to share their research, lives could have been saved. Now I'm ready to jump into my second piece of evidence. I'm going to use a transition word and then repeat that process. I can use this tool to help me as I go. And again, no, I don't think there's an again. I think that's good. Thanks for tuning in.